Well, yeah, sir. This is Elijah's Exotic Tractors and More. The Lamborghini? Yeah, we still got that one. I'm looking at it right now. How much power does it make? Well, it's got them twin turbochargers on it, so I expect at least make about 2,000. Oh, you want to come look out? Come on right on by. We'll go for a test drive. Good morning, wretches. Welcome to part 2 in our Lamborghini Gallardo build series. Last time we got to tune that green Lamborghini Gallardo, gated manual transmission. Tried to test drive it, didn't end so well.
Didn't work.
We then got my gray Superlegerra in here. Dalton did a lot of work on it. Got some new turbos on there. Swapped out the front differential. And so today we're going to be finishing that up. We've got it on the dyno, ready to go. You're going to get to hear some awesome car noises today.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of the best.
Arguably the best sounding engine ever produced, best sounding tractor ever produced in the history of Indonesia.
What?
No arguments there. I think you mean Italy, bro.
Oh, yeah, one of those I states.
All right, so it is a Lamborghini. It's got 2 turbos. Does that mean
It does have 2 turbos.
Does it makes 2,000 horsepower just automatically?
I don't know why everybody thinks every Lamborghini automatically makes 2,000 horsepower just because that's twin turbos on it.
Well, I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's every YouTuber seems to think every Lamborghini automatically makes 2,000 horsepower just because you put twin turbos on it, even with 87 octane.
So does it make 2,000?
Wow, look at that purple twin turbo right there. This one has to make 2,000 horsepower.
Bro, it's only got 6 1,000cc injectors, and that's a single turbo.
Why does injectors matter? It's got twin turbos on it. It's a Supra.
Well, those injectors just doesn't flow enough.
Oh, this one's a V8 with 2 big turbos. This got to make 2,000 horsepower.
Dude, this one doesn't even have injectors.
Oh.
No turbo. This one has to make 2,000.
No, doofus. It's a ZR1000.
Oh.
I know this one doesn't make 2,000 because it's got a huge ricer wing and it says slow.
Actually,
Christian, 2,000 horsepower. We weren't kidding, guys. We're talking about 1850 wheel horsepower.
yeah, we don't want to be like those one YouTuber guys that just put 2,000 horsepower in every video, and then we put our car in the dyno and it only makes 750.
So made about 7.5 for the wheels.
750
Yeah.
wheel motor.
Yep.
That would be really disingenuous of us.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that word means.
I don't either.
Disintegritus.
We're just dishonest.
Or dishonest, yeah. But it gets clicks. Clickbait, that's the right word.
Clickbait.
My friend, El Rojo, actually accused me of clickbait with our Subaru Forester build series.
What?
But he's like, the horsepower goes up every time you post a new video of it. Exactly. We're building the car. It makes more horsepower every time we took a video.
Yeah.
It made 900 engine horsepower
Yeah.
and 750 something, maybe 60 actual wheel horsepower.
So we didn't lie,
So-
technically.
We really try to be honest with our videos, but we also want you to watch them.
Yeah.
We've ran into a few problems on the dyno. We're making progress, and we appreciate you guys watching today. Let's get started.
All right, so you ready to go get started?
I'm ready to go get started.
All right. So what if it doesn't actually make 2,000?
We'll just have to come up with a lot of lame excuses, like why the dyno jet correlation factor of weather.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, we finished up at 93. Didn't think I was going to need to make a ton of changes. Not going crazy with 93. Just want something I can beat on and make really cool turbo noises. 789. And then next we put some ethanol in it. Got it up to about 50, 60%. Turned it up to map 2. It actually made about 28 pounds, a little over target, 1167, but our fuel pressure is dropping. So now we get to diagnose another car while it's on the dyno. Okay, so the last two Audi Lamborghinis we've had on the dyno, one of them had a bad intercore pump connection, the Lamborghini we tuned last time, and the Audi had a blown fuse. So where are we going to start?
Probably fuses.
Probably fuses. The easiest place to start.
Yeah.
Why are you showing me? You found it.
I did not have any power to it.
Out of three Audi Lamborghinis, that's the fourth blown fuse you found.
Yeah.
Fuel pumps, intercore pumps. Pumps.
So I put the fuse in. I always like to verify it just in case there's a short to ground or something and it just immediately blows. So power on one leg, power on the other.
Oh, hey, look, there's actually an access panel from here.
So we found our issue. It's literally looks like it's burnt. So
Gotta keep blowing fuses.
yeah, fuses keep getting blown. We're
They
gonna
don't immediately pop.
yeah, it takes a while, but they pop. We got new fuel pumps and Rylan.
Show us our fuel pumps, little young man. What's a fuel pump do?
Pumps fuel.
Pumps fuel,
Pumps
that's right. So there you have it, folks. Everything you need to know about a fuel pump. I've never been a huge DW fuel pump guy. Did some testing. Currently, underground used on your, you spend $250,000 on a build. They get you $440 air motive pumps. DW pumps supposedly flow more and draw the same amperage. These pumps run all the time as the primary pumps. Do draw some amperage, so you want to have the lowest amperage draw so you don't have more burnt wires.
Let's go ahead and swap them over.
Okay, so we've got fuel pressure. Yay! Only takes 4 fuel pumps. Fortunately, because of the way it's designed, it still cavitates if it's below like a third of a tank. Able to do some testing on just Cal 1, which basically makes 20 pounds on E85, right at 1,000 horsepower. Really cool thing about the Mainline is you can do a delta graph, which basically shows, okay, I made a change. I changed the intake cam timing at 7,600 RPMs. How much horsepower do we gain? 20.94. So you can play with really cool things. Unfortunately, on a car like this, intake temps, especially being in the 90s the last few weeks, I mean, it's really hard to do consistent back-to-back testing for small changes like this, just because you're constantly battling intake air temp. I mean, a 10, 15 degree intake air temp swing will change roughly 20 horsepower. So we've been constantly putting just a few ice cubes in it. We haven't been drenching it with ice, because you don't want to take a 100 degree full, drench it with ice, and then say, oh, it picked up 50 horsepower. Let's just keep adding timing. You have to keep it consistent. Okay, so Dalton seems to have got our fuel pressure fixed. We got those new DW fuel pumps in there. Seem to be doing pretty good. We got a decent ethanol mix. It's around E60. MAP 2 calibration is now 25 pounds. And we made a solid 1155. So right at 8,100. This car wants to rev more, but I don't want to rev it more because I want the engine to stay together. Right there, we basically added 5 pounds of boost and picked up 150-ish horsepower.
Think it's gonna make 2,000?
Of course it'll make 2,000. It's a twin turbo.
Huh.
Howdy, partner.
Hey, I'm looking for a 2,000 horsepower car, and it looks like, I mean, probably got one around here, right?
Oh, we got a bunch here.
Oh,
They
yeah?
all make 2,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking for one.
Well, we got this nice Lamborghini over here.
Oh, I want a sleeper. I want something conspicuous.
Why don't you come check out this, well, some call it a Honda, I call it an Acura. That's the more luxurious side in Japan.
Yeah, this is my dream car. And it makes 2,000?
Well, I mean, you know, it's got them twin turbos on it, but when we put on the dyno, it was a 300-degree day, and we only had 87 octane in it, and it was spinning the front 2 tiers. The dyno sheet only says 163, but really, when you put the correlation factor in there, it's pretty close to 2,000.
Well, that math just really doesn't make sense.
Don't you doubt me, Sonny. I'm a content creator.
Oh, you're right. It's on YouTube. It must be true. It must be true. It must be true. It must be true.
Of course it's true. It's YouTube. Fact check.
make 2,000, right? Every twin turbo Lamborghini makes 2,000, right?
So, has this been your favorite build we've done so far?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I never thought I'd get to work on a Lamborghini, so it's very exciting.
Never thought I'd own a Lamborghini or work on one.
Yeah, yeah. I think my favorite part is, working around that fiberglass, fiber optic, thermal heat wrap that Underground put on. Getting all the fiberglass splinters in my hand.
Billet carbon fiber fiberglass splinters.
Yeah. Is this your favorite build?
So we just learned that Androids can flip the camera mid-video where iPhones can't. So -1 for Steve Jobs. Yeah, this has been one of my favorite builds so far, I think.
Yeah.
Had a good foundation as far as build engine, built transmission. Obviously, the clutch foundation wasn't great because I had to replace it. Obviously, Underground did a great job on the engine and stuff. And, it's a good build for the time 10 years ago, but it's better now. As Flexfuel's full standalone drives 10 times better. Yeah, and we've done other builds where, start out with a foundation that's not great, and you kind of, you don't really, I bought $30,000 with this car, I can't wait to build it. And then you get into it, and you're like, oh, it's rusted, it actually needs an engine. And it's like, that's not fun. The build ends up not being fun. And obviously, replacing clutches and switching turbos, getting fiberglass exhaust strap in your hands isn't always the funnest. But when you get to see the end product, you're like, man, this turned out awesome. This was not that bad. Great value. It was worth building. On the other hand, I often get tune cars that are like, oh, hey, you found a great deal on a used turbo off marketplace. You want to build your car, but the foundation isn't even good. There's coolant all over the ground. It's a used JDM engine, and you've never even put coal packs in it. So, even though you put a bigger turbo on there, the foundation is not good. Your spark plugs aren't even sparking. It's making 134 horsepower. So you got to fix the foundation. It's got to have a good foundation, or it's not worth building. It's the end of 2024. Obviously, we have hoodies, and I have my little homeless gloves on. Now, crazy to think we actually started part 1 of this video back in February of 2024, and now it's December, and we're trying to finish part 2. At the end of the year, it's cool to have perspective. And, perspective is a hard thing to do in our culture because everyone's just constantly scrolling and trying to, we never have to slow down long enough to actually take perspective on our life. How am I using my 168 hours of time? What did I do well this year? What did I do bad this year? For me, I can look and say, wow, we had lots of great memories, but this year flew by. What do I really have to show for it? Yeah, we made some money. Yeah, we tuned some cars. What really is lasting that you're going to remember 5 years from now? Most of the time you spent this year, you're not going to remember what you did with it a few months later. If we actually added up all the time we wasted scrolling, even for me, looking at cars on Marketplace or playing video games, those things aren't necessarily bad, but when you add up all that time, you're like, wow, that was a waste. That was vanity. I have nothing to show for it. Paul actually talks about this in 1 Corinthians 3. The letter of Corinthians, he calls the Corinthians saints, so they are believers. Basically, the whole letter is a rebuke that God's blessed them with awesome spiritual gifts. God saved them from their idols, and yet they're kind of letting it go to waste. They're not really using it. They're not really taking full advantage of what God has given them.
Bro, God gave you so much athletic ability. Why are you wasting it on this junk?
I love chocolate and beef jerky.
I think you're a terrible steward.
In chapter 3, he says, basically, I'm speaking to you as carnal, fleshly, worldly people. You've been saved, but you're not really using the salvation in Jesus Christ to do anything with it. You're wasting it. He talks about the dual nature of both God being sovereign and saving people and causing growth, but also our responsibility to water, to plant. And he says there's only one foundation. The foundation is Jesus Christ. That is the foundation. Being justified by faith through him alone, not by anything we have to offer God. Christian's righteousness is entirely because of what Jesus Christ did, not anything we have to add to it or remove to it. Entirely Jesus Christ. But God doesn't just save us and take us to heaven. He leaves us here. And he doesn't just leave us here to sit on our couches. No, when we get saved, we're not ready for heaven. We're not holy. Heaven's holy. We're not ready to be there. We have to be changed and sanctified and discipled. And not only that, but if Jesus hasn't come back yet, then he's not done saving people from every tribe, tongue, and nation. So the whole point of the gospel is to go to the ends of the earth, to save other people. And God uses men, you and me, to go and proclaim that, to disciple others, to help them get more sanctified. And that's Paul's point in 1 Corinthians 3. What are you doing with your work? You can build on the foundation with gold, silver, or wood, hay, and straw. And each man's work will become evident, for the day will indicate when the day is revealed with fire, and the fire itself will test the quality of each man's work. And if any man's work which he has built on remains, he will receive reward. So we're all going to stand before God one day in judgment. And that's kind of the idea of the fire here. the day of judgment, where the new heavens and the new earth come in, and the old earth is burned away in fire, destroyed. And what are you building that's going to be left standing? We're all building something. We all have 168 hours a week. We all have resources. We're all building something. You know, we're building our businesses. We're building our own kingdom, so to speak. Building our car collection, building our name, our reputation, building our YouTube subscribers. And some of those things aren't even necessarily bad, like building into my family, building memories. But if that's all you built, when you stand before God and he says, what did you do with your life? I told you to go make disciples. And you're like, well, you know, I had 100,000 YouTube subscribers. That's not going to be worth anything on the day of judgment. That's worthless. That's vanity. No one's going to remember your name. I mean, unless you're Alexander the Great, like, which he had nothing to stand for in the day of judgment either. But, I mean, yeah, who really cares? It's vanity. It's worthless. You're basically grasping after this wind, as Ecclesiastes says. That's worth nothing. You're wasting your life. And so on the other extreme, though, you know, we could say someone's so heavenly minded that they're not earthly good. And I don't think that's what God wants for us either. But I've never met someone who all they do is talk about Jesus 24/7. They don't actually do any kind of earthly things. They don't spend time with their family. They don't have leisure. They don't eat. They don't work. On the other hand, I've met hundreds, if not thousands, of people who claim to be Christians, claim to be about Christ's kingdom, and yet you say, hey, who did you disciple in 2024? Who did you share the gospel with in 2024? My dog. And so we're all building something. We're all building and investing into something. My question is, what are you investing in? I mean, sometimes we need a wake-up call to sit down and have perspective to say, okay, how did I spend my 2024? I invested my money into these 5 things, but yet I didn't give any money to gospel ministries. But yet I built 3 really cool cars and got lots of YouTube views. What a big racing event. And when we're on our deathbed, more importantly, when we're standing before God and everything is laid bare, like, we will be naked and everything will be shown as what it is, our priorities, our life, our idols. And Jesus in Matthew 4:19 said, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. So one of the defining marks of being a disciple of Jesus is fishing for men, is being an evangelist, is being a disciple maker. You may be a new Christian and you may not know what that looks like. Find a good local church, listen to good sermons, read good books, read your Bible, reach out to us. We would love to give you resources. Find other brothers and sisters who are about Christ's mission. And so the Christian's greatest desire is to one day see Jesus and to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. You didn't waste your life. You spent it well. I'm not big on pragmatism of like, hey, whatever works shows results, then that's the way we should do it. But at the same time, Jesus promised that if we're doing his work, there will be fruit. There will be disciples being made. And so at the end of the year, I mean, the Lord has convicted me all the time I've wasted building time and cars and stuff that aren't going to last. And, you know, obviously we can use these cars and these builds for Christ's glory and making much of him. I mean, a lot of people build their cars to make their own symbol of fame and fortune. They look at my kingdom that I built. We want to use our cars and stuff for his kingdom and glory. But if you've been a Christian 20 years and you look back and you said, I've never made a disciple, maybe you need a wake-up call. Maybe you need to repent. Maybe you need to recognize your priorities have been out of whack. God in his grace has given you today to make 2025 count, where you can look back and say, hey, I just found one person and I invested spiritual truth into their life. We memorized 5 verses together. Hey, that might not seem like a huge thing, but it's the little things that build. Yeah, or maybe if the building's not working, then it's got the wrong foundation. The foundation needs to be shored up. You need spark before you upgrade your turbo. And the foundation has to be Christ and what he's done alone. It's not legalism and earning God's favor. It's not doing certain things so that God loves you. God is holy, you are not, and you need a Savior. And Jesus Christ is the only one who came and lived the perfect life that you could not live and I could not live, and died in our place as a substitute. That's the foundation of the Christian life, trusting entirely in what he has done, and then living that out. Living not just for the earthly things we see, living knowing that we're going to spend eternity with him. So he may give us 50 years or he may come back in 5. And there's always this perspective and this balance of building and investing in eternity, but also being a good steward of the here and now. But don't be like the rich fool, which Jesus said he was only focused on this life. And he said, I'm going to build me a new tower. I'm going to upgrade my house. I'm going to do whatever. And he did not know that that very night his life would be taken from him. And he stood before God with nothing to show for it, but a wasted. So don't waste 2025. Now, for all you've been waiting for. Does our Lamborghini tractor make 2,000 horsepower? Of course. No. Despite what other YouTubers may tell you, all Lamborghinis do not make 2,000 horsepower. Tested around some different boost curves. This car makes a ton of peak power now. I mean, we're making 1,000 horsepower from basically 5,900 to redline at 29, 30 pounds of boost. I can't really do these pulls back to back because the intake temps do get pretty crazy with this air to water setup. So highest pull, 1294. We probably could have put 2 pieces of ice in it, made 1,300, or changed the spark plugs, but we didn't, because this is a real world car. This isn't just for cool YouTube hits. You know, we actually drive this thing and I beat the snot out of it, and you know, I want it to last. This isn't a glory dyno pull. You know, we're not actually lying about the horsepower, because this isn't a dyno jet. This is a load-bearing dyno. And so when we take the actual horsepower number of 1294, times it by the theoretical pulse width of 12 injectors, plus a V10 engine, plus 2 turbos, and then calculate it by 4 wheels, what we really get is 5,000. But because we're getting spark plug blowout, we actually minus that by 2,500, but then we add back 300 because it's 90 degrees.
800 wheel! Holy crap!
On a dyno jet, you only use 10% powertrain loss, but it'll make 10% more than this. So instead of 798 times 1.1, on a dyno jet, it'll make 877.
Gotcha.
So you only use 19%. 877 times 1.19, same crank horsepower.
Gotcha.
A little over 1,000. You have to know your power.
But then I'm wearing a hoodie. We add back 305. I take the square root of all 4 wheels. We gotta add extra weight because we found that cricket in the glove vent. So if we were at Texas 2K with that kind of air density, it would actually be 2,900, 143 horsepower.
Stop it. Get some help.
Oh, look at them brakes.
I mean, you're serious.
So in our last YouTube video, actually said 2,000 horsepower. We weren't lying. 2 Lamborghinis. One made 789 on basic 93 octane. This one made 1294 on 30 pounds of boost on E50.
Yeah.
So you put those two together, that's over 2,000 wheel horsepower.
Yeah, it's basic math.
We forgot to divide it by pi to the square root of ethanol. Stoic. I am going to be like those other guys and say this car could have made more power, but I want it to last. I'm not going to race this thing, probably. We don't have a ton more fuel system left, even with the upgraded fuel pumps. I don't want to push it super hard, but we could definitely make at least another 100, 150 horsepower if I did a higher boost map and cut the E85 with like some BP import or 616 racing fuel that has high octane but not as much fuel requirement as E85. I may do that one day. I'm not going to do it today. I love this engine. I don't want to hurt it. It spins the tires already. So I basically left it on ethanol. It's got a boost trim switch. On ethanol, it makes 1,000, 1155 on 25 pounds, and then basically right at 1,300. So we're picking up about 150 horsepower per 5 to 6 pounds of boost, which is pretty good. This turbo on the 76s, when Underground ran just VP import, would run all the way up to 40 to 45 pounds of boost. But you're running VP import, not as much fuel requirement, $35 a gallon, leaded racing fuel. We like that cheap corn lick around here. 2,000 horsepower! Okay, so now that we're done making fun of every dyno operator in the country, Mustang, Dynojet, Mainline, all included, what are you gonna do now?
Maybe we should go take it for a test drive.
Yeah, let's go find a one-way street in the middle of New York City where there are pedestrians and dogs and cars, and do a 4th gear pull.
Yeah, let's max it out.
We actually need to do, after we go for a test drive, we're about out of gas again. So we need to go find a corn liquor production.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the mountains of Western North Carolina. So I'm sure we can find some guy around here who knows all about making the cheapest race gas in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
God's gas.
Uh-oh.
I like your tractor. Does it really take gas?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't take diesel?
No.
It looks nice.
No. They have good tires. They can fix things on the axle.
I get right there, Charlie.
Yeah, it looks
All
good.
these parts have been
Our new friend, Mr. John, got $5 worth of gas in his tractor, but still haven't found a Lamborghini tractor fuel, so we'll keep looking. Sir, do you know where I can find some tractor fuel?
I think I can probably help you out.
We found him!
I've got it loaded up right back here, and I'm going to put some up in my tractor.
We found the man with the corn boost juice. So you're going to convert your tractor to run corn fuel, corn liquor?
Yes, I am going to get the boost juice.
How much horsepower is it supposed to add?
Well, it's supposed to increase the horsepower up to 2,000 horsepower.
A 2,000 horsepower tractor?
That is what it's supposed to do.
That's some mighty fine boost juice. Can I buy some from you?
Well, now, we'll have to discuss that in confidential terms.
With the FTA?
That would possibly be it.
2,000 horsepower, but this is a Ford tractor. Have you ever heard of a Lamborghini tractor?
Do what now?
Is that turbo?
Oh man, I always forgot to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2,000 horsepower. All you need are some Nagasaki whirlwinders and some corn liquor. You're really making 2,000 horsepower open with all that.
Yes.
So you can crank it up and then howl it up and then kind of hit the fuel a little bit, a little black smoke on that.
You want to go for a ride in this car you worked so hard on?
Yeah.
All the fiberglass spinners?
Oh yeah.
Here, let me open the door for you.
Oh, what a gentleman. What a gentleman. Whoa. What is that?
That's that Alcantara and custom carbon fiber seats. The intake air temp's almost as hot as the engine.
Wow.
Better?
Oh yeah.
The noises! You just don't want to drive this car at 3,000 RPM. I mean, it sounds good at 3,000, but it sounds 50 times better at 7,000. But I also feel like that driving every car I own, pretty much. You gotta test your tractor around turns to make sure it doesn't flip over on you.
Yep. Make sure I get all them hay bales on there.
Well, this car sticks in the turns pretty good. But obviously it's, you know, I don't know, 4,100 pounds. Like, it's a heavy girl.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you feel the weight just like, you know, driving a big heavy GTR. And you got your nice farm truck going over the yellow line.
Oh yeah.
That was at least 2 G-forces.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Fling this tractor around.
Hopefully she don't flip on us.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we still got our hay bales back there.
What else the cow's gonna eat tonight? What's up, fellers? Yeah, so really the only other things I would like to update is getting a radar detector and then getting Bluetooth. Let's see what people think of our tractor, new tractor.
I think our tractor's sexy.
I don't know, can we even fit our tractor through here?
I don't know.
Oh, Mustang.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. I bet his Mustang tractor's fast.
I bet so.
Can we rev up at him?
Do it.
It was really funny though, whenever my clutch actually like completely went out, I stalled in that intersection and had to push it into this gas station. Thankfully another Alexander County resident was nice enough to get out of his utility truck and help me push, because I could not move this heavy girl by myself.
Yeah.
I did not miss a gear. I did that on purpose.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't miss a gear in a tractor.
Nope.
Well, the front diff's working. That's good. We didn't really know. I mean, you know, We weren't 100% sure they were exactly the same. Obviously the temperature sensor was different. So how's that test drive?
Oh man, that thing's fast. That's
I still want that accurate.
the fastest tractor I've ever been on.
But on a serious note, we took some gigantic turbos and put some smaller ones on it, and it drives much better. You can't tell it lost 30 horsepower. A lot more drivability. It's pretty good on the street. Spins a little bit. So even at 800, 900 horsepower, this thing is a handful on the street at 40, 50 degrees outside. Even if it did make 2,000 horsepower, you wouldn't be able to ramp that much boost or power in until you're going at least 100. Even with all-wheel drive and Toyo R888Rs all the way around. Didn't make 2,000 horsepower, but I don't think it would be any faster if it did make 2,000 horsepower.
Well, still won't beat Uncle Tommy's tractor.
Yeah, you YouTube liars. He's calling you out. Yeah. I'm pointing at you. Bring your 2,000 horsepower twin turbo Lamborghini and race us. We'll have a tractor pull right over there in the hay bales. See you next time.
I'll arm wrestle you for that can of dip right there.
This is my deer jerky. If you have any questions about today's content or Bible study, please reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, Wretched Racing. You can email us at wretchedracing@gmail.com. If you'd like a Bible or any kind of gospel material, we would love to send it to you for free. We also have t-shirts and hoodies. Thanks for watching.